Shemai, croeso nôl I the vlog regarding Welsh, learning Welsh with Learn Cymraeg, Pembrokeshire, our Pure West Radio. It's me, Tom Dyer, back and refreshed after a half term where we had a whole week off. So I hope you didn't miss these videos too much. And if you are missing the videos, including the Mynediad and the earlier Sylfaen ones that I've done this term so far, well, you can find all of them on our YouTube page of Pure West Radio. So go to YouTube, type in Pure West Radio, and you'll see two playlists there. One for Mynediad, which is all the lessons that we had last year, and the Sylfaen one, which I'm currently recording to you right now. Uned chwech, Unit 6, after half term. And it's a slightly different unit because it's a revision unit. It's bringing together everything we've learned so far in Sylfaen. So that includes, I'm going to go through it with you so I can't forget anything. And why not, hey? So croeso nôl was the first thing. Welcome back. So that was our revision unit. And we covered the whole of Mynediad in all of about, 6 pages, which is quite incredible when you think about it. And we then moved on to Dwi'n nabod rhywun sy'n, I know somebody who, and then Dwi'n nabod rhywun sy'n byw in Australia. I know somebody who lives in Australia. And then Dwi ddim yn nabod neb sy'n byw in Ffrainc. I don't know anyone who lives in France. Coincidentally, I do. Then we moved on to Si oedd yn fydd, which is similar to different tenses to do with, so roedd i'n nabod, so I knew someone who lived and byw in Australia, for example. Then we moved on to Uned 3, which was baswn i'n hoffi, baswn i'n, I would like. So baswn i'n hoffi chwarae pêl-droed ar y penwythnos, on the weekend. Ond dwi'n gweithio ar y penwythnos. And then we moved on to taswn i'n, which was if. So I would do something, baswn i'n hoffi, I would like to do something, taswn i'n amser gyda fi, if I had time with me. So that's what we moved on to. So we did baswn and taswn, and those two together were a little bit difficult because it incorporates all of the mutations that we've covered so far, which is very, very exciting, cyffrous iawn, but also just takes a bit of time to get your head through it. And of course, I'm doing 4 hours of Welsh a week, which is Sylfaen 1 a Sylfaen 2, which is usually done over 2 years in one. So we hurtle through these units faster than you would if you're doing Sylfaen 1 and Sylfaen 2. We then moved on after taswn i'n. We then went on to Uned 5, which was ces I fy ngeni. I had my birth. I was born. So ces I fy ngeni yn Holford. There you go. I had my birth in Haverfordwest. And then we talked about ces I fy magu, which was I was brought up. And that threw up even more mutations because as soon as you start talking about other people, ces ti dy eni is a soft mutation, so you get rid of the G for Genny. So we've had all the different mutations, so it's been actually quite nice to have a bit of a week off and actually try and bring all these things round as to what we're doing. And then Uned chwech, which is what we had this week, was a revision. And as we've had in Mynediad, you'll recognise this table. It's a game of cards which has got lots of questions on it. And what if you're playing the game, you would shuffle your deck of cards, and then you'd pick a card, and then you'd have to ask someone the question, and you've got to come up with the answer. What was good about this revision unit is that it even had some of the simple questions from Mynediad. So it wasn't just, which mutation do I need now? Am I talking about we, us, them, it? So that was a really nice exercise to go through it. And we went into our breakout rooms, which we're using a lot more of in Sylfaen because we're trying to encourage free-flowing conversation, which was facilitated really well this week. So we just went through it and we were able to bring up a conversation. And one thing that we're building on naturally is that want and desire to learn extensions of the sentences as well. And then, as with every revision unit that we have, there's usually like a little tidbit of information that we learn on top of it, and that was llall, a llall, a lleill. And before we learned about a llall and a lleill, we had anganani, which was a pronunciation looking at all the different double L sounds that you can get as well. So darllenwch y darn yma eich partner. So the merched, llynos llawach, and the dynion, llion llywach. And just to give you an idea as to how this sentence structure went, I'm going to read the bottom sentence which I had. Falle bydde i'n gallu agor ti bwyta arall cyn bo hir. Y lleill llwyd yn Llanelli a'r llall yn Llangranog. Brilliant. It reminds me of there's a sentence which has got lots of D's in it, D's and T's, because of mutations, T, D, D, and like my dad and Tad, and it's a funny sentence. It's in one of the previous episodes, so you'll have to look back through all of the Mynediad videos and find it and remind me what it is. And then I just said there, a'r llall yn Llangranog, which leads me on to a llall and a lleill. So they basically mean the other or the other ones. Now we've had another, Arash, so I'm going to jump back to the help llaw. So when we talk about Arash, we're talking about the other something else. So a shop Arash, a chocolate Arash, the other chocolate, the other shop. Or if you're talking about plurals, you would go a siopau eraill, the other shops. So I'm not going up to the ones by Withybush. Dwi'n mynd i'r siopau eraill. I'm going to go to the other ones. So that's how you use that there. However, in conversation, we don't always talk about the things that we're talking about, if that makes sense. We just talk about, the others. You know, the other one. I won't have this, I'll have the other. But we don't have necessarily name it. And that's where llall and lleill comes from. So to go back to my double L sentences, my lleill. So, y llew llwyd yn Llanelli. So the Grey Lion, it's about a pub, a dafarn. Y lleill llwyd yn Llanelli. So the lleill llwyd yn Llanelli. A'r llall yn Llangranog. And the other in Llangranog. Talking about another pub. But instead of saying pub, dafarn arall, another pub, the other pub, in Llangranog, all she says is y lleill llwyd yn Llanelli a'r llall yn Llangranog, the other in Llangranog. So that's kind of like the new tidbit that we've learned on this revision unit of Uned Chwech. And then it just focused on having conversations. And about that, Angani, there was of course the Geriatron at the very beginning as well. But also we had a song. Now, unfortunately, Richard didn't sing it. However, he did let us into a little secret that he is part of Northern Terrace Massive up at Park Strad. And we played the song Ar lan y môr. Now I know I'm getting confused with Ar hyd y nos. That's the song that I used to sing in primary school. But this was Ar lan y môr. Mae roses cochion. Ar lan y môr, mae lilies gwynion. And then with Ar lan y môr, the Welsh Rugby Union team, when they did the World Cup in 2015, sang Lawr Ar lan y môr. So if you want to hear a beautiful rendition of that, you can Google Welsh Rugby Team Lawr Ar lan y môr, and you'll hear a beautiful rendition. And that is Unit 6 in a nutshell. It's been nice to come back to it, and we were asked whether or not we felt like a conversation was coming, and it is. It just needs like cranking up. So when we're first put into breakout rooms, we just kind of read it, and we've got the questions in front of us, and we do our best just to read it and try and understand it. And it takes a bit of warming up. Once we've warmed up, though, we've got our app Geriatron on our phones, which is like a little dictionary on our phones, which is brilliant. So we're coming up with our own vocabulary to try and expand what we're talking about. But it's just, we're at that stage where we want to say more, but we're being held back either through we just haven't done it enough, which indents on the confidence that we have, which is why speaking it more in public isn't necessarily happening as free-flowing as we would like it to be at this stage. But that's going to change at some point, because we're learning so many new structures now in Sylfaen that are just so useful in everyday life that they are going to come. And I probably need to start talking more Welsh with Thomas on the Welsh phrase of the week as well, on the Early Breakfast Show on Pure West Radio. So just after 7 o'clock, about 7:15 every Thursday, Thomas and I meet up. We've got a new Welsh phrase encouraging everyone to get involved. You can get involved too. So I want to hear your voice notes on our WhatsApp, 01437 764455. You can send Pure West Radio a message. You've got to save us the contact on your phone first, then go to WhatsApp and send it. This week's phrase is dwi'n gyrru, I drive. So dwi'n gyrru Lamborghini, I drive a Lamborghini. I don't. Daz from the evening show got Welsh Learner of the Week, Seren Star o'r Wythnos, the Gold Star of the Week, last week for his wonderful rendition of Dwi'n caru Sir Benfro. I love Pembrokeshire. So that's where we're at the moment. I want to hear yours ready for next week. And get everyone else involved. You can win yourself a mug, a Siamai mug. Wake up to Siamai on your cup of tea, on your panad o day, panad o coffee. And it'd be great to see how you're getting on and how you're learning as well. Next week, so wythnos nesa, dwi'n meddwl bod. I think, so dwi'n meddwl bod of rugby yn iawn. I think rugby is okay. And when I'm filming this, Wales haven't played the Springboks yet. You'll see this on Tuesday. So, da iawn, boys, or never mind, boys. We'll see how it goes. And any questions, any thoughts, then by all means get in touch. You can comment below, share this with other Welsh learners or others that you think might be wanting to learn the language. Hopefully these videos give a bit of a tidbit of information as to what we're learning and how we're learning it, and to increase the confidence of those that might be interested. And if Biddig has sent you here, Siamai, ti'n iawn? Because I know that she's sending some of her learners to these videos as well, which I'm humbled by. So thank you so much for your time, and gwela I chi wythnos nesa. Hwyl am y tro!